Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. Hopefully all of you have had a fantastic Thanksgiving weekend. I know I did. Now of course that has been marred a little bit by some of the outcry from the Destiny community, and rightfully so, in frustration about Bungie not addressing the critical problems with Destiny 2's endgame progression and the reward system's longevity. However, we got a small beacon of hope today from game director Luke Smith as he tweeted out some additional things we can look forward to learning about next week. Things that will hopefully fix, or at least begin to address, a lot of the issues with the game. In this video, I'm going to quickly outline what we've learned so far from the two previous streams, why the community is so upset, and then move to the tweet itself and break down what it all means. If you're already caught up with all the news, you can skip to the timestamp on the screen just to get my analysis of the situation and me breaking down the tweet in a little bit more detail. Aside from that, let's jump into it. Alright, so let's quickly go over what we saw in the first two live streams. In the first live stream, we learned about the destinations and the characters. We saw Osiris, Sagira, Brother Vance. We saw the destinations like the Fields of Glass, including the Lighthouse, and we also saw the Infinite Forest. They also surprised us with a reveal of how the raid structure is going to be working moving forward with the addition of raid layers. That was all well and good, but it didn't involve anything about the quality of life or the weapon balancing or anything like that, because they didn't say it would. In fact, they didn't even say that it would involve anything about the raid. That was a surprise to us. Then the second stream, which is titled New Ways to Play, showed us some of the activities. They introduced us to heroic adventures. They showed us weapon forging, which is basically legendary weapon quests where you go gather some items and bring them back to the lighthouse. And then they showed us the longest public event they've ever created, which also rewards you with additional loot compared to regular public events. And that was it. But that was all they told us they would show us. And then the third stream is titled New Gear to Earn, and if you go back to the original announcement, the description of what it's going to feature says, inspect the new inventories and see it all in action on a brand new Crucible map. That's it. Again, no mentions of quality of life or endgame. However, at the end of the second stream, Deej told us that the third stream would also now include changes coming to the sandbox, including weapon tuning and abilities. However, the issue with that second stream was that public event showcased and sort of highlighted one of the issues with Destiny 2, its reward system, which ties into its endgame longevity. And that, of course, ignited the meme hashtag TwoTokensAndABlue, which is exactly what that person got for a reward for something that was supposed to be the most rewarding public event yet. Now, that was just a poor choice of words, but there was nothing else that we saw that granted the party anything really significant or exciting. In fact, in a weird way, it sort of solidified that we would be getting more of the same. You just go collect tokens, turn them into Brother Vance, and he'll give you some weapon. Then, of course, I'm going to grind the hell out of Curse of Osiris, so I'm going to get all of the weapons in probably about a couple weeks. And then, of course, we're back to square one. Now, the big issue here is that this isn't the fault of those working on Curse of Osiris. Curse of Osiris is a content injection. The big confusion comes in when people confuse the release of Curse of Osiris with the start of Season 2. What we're interested in is what changes are coming to Season 2. And the people responsible for that is Destiny 2's live team, and the last time we heard from them was during the TwitchCon panel. The people we've been hearing from for the past couple weeks have just been the creative team behind Curse of Osiris, and it's a shame that their hard work is marred by issues that are completely out of their control. Now, the live team is what we haven't heard from, and that's perhaps what we needed more than anything else. So at the end of the day, it was really a misstep from Bungie for not setting up the right expectations. As soon as they started hearing rumblings for people not being satisfied by the streams because they weren't addressing issues with endgame and rewards, they should have immediately told us that those things are coming in Season 2, and that these streams are more about learning what's coming with Curse of Osiris. Again, not defending Bungie, but just kind of bringing you a little bit of perspective on what's going on. Now, thankfully today we've had a bit of a turning point with Luke Smith announcing a couple things on Twitter. For those of you who don't know, Luke Smith is the game director over at Bungie who has brought us Destiny 2, and also before that brought us the Taken King expansion. At this point, I was convinced that him and project lead Mark Noseworthy were working on the major expansion coming in fall of 2018. However, it looks like they might have put that aside for now to come back and address the core game. The tweet reads as follows. Next week, the Destiny 2 team will detail the systems side of the December update. Again, this is most likely in reference to Season 2 and Destiny Update 1.1, as in you don't have to own Curse of Osiris to enjoy some of these changes. He goes on to say it includes economy updates, vendor and acquiring their gear, tokens, legendary shards, investment updates, new reward systems for weapons and armor, and gameplay updates, and more. Additionally, at Noseworthy, who is Mark Noseworthy, the project lead for Destiny 2, and I will be answering some questions and addressing community feedback we've been reading since launch. See you soon. Now, this is potentially very exciting stuff, but I am going to remain cautiously optimistic. However, it does look like they've been working on this stuff for a while, so I have a pretty good feeling about it. My hope is that the conversation is front and center during this Wednesday's livestream. If that ends up being the case, these are the topics for that stream. First up, we have the new gear that you can earn from Curse of Osiris, and then we have the sandbox preview with John Wisniewski, and we'll call those the gameplay updates from the tweet. And then on top of that, we're going to have economy updates and investment updates. And then apparently after that, we might have a Q&A with Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith. Now, I imagine that's just going to be them in the hot seats across from Deej, maybe answering some of those big questions, or it could be some follow-up blog, we don't know. But the cool thing is that they've heard us and they are going to be addressing these issues. So what can we expect? Well, if we look at the tweet, they mention vendor and acquiring their gear. I hope this means that you're going to be able to purchase items directly from vendors. However, the only issue with that is that weapons are not exciting in Destiny 2 right now. Once you have every weapon, it's no longer exciting. If I've already gotten the Better Devils from the Crucible, why would I care about being able to buy it from Lord Shaxx directly? Now, this could work as is for limited time events like Iron Banner and faction rallies, but for vendors that are there all the time, they need something a bit more than that. Then of course he mentions tokens. Tokens are some of the most underwhelming rewards you can get from activities, but really they're only underwhelming because of the issue with rank up packages in the first place. If they were more exciting somehow, then we would want tokens more. Instead, now those packages just give us stuff we already have and don't care about, hence the surplus materials of legendary shards. So hopefully whatever their solutions are will go hand in hand to fix all of these problems at once, or at least start to. Next up, he mentions investment updates, new reward systems for weapons and armor. So it looks like there's going to be some alternative ways for you to gain weapons and armor instead of just those random packages, which sounds pretty cool. I can't really think of what this could mean. This could be in reference to Strike exclusive gear, we'll just have to wait and see. And then finally, we have mention of the gameplay again, which is going to be led up by the Sandbox team, and that's mostly going to be, I think, touching on weapon and ability balance. I expect pulse grenades to be pulled back a little bit, and I really hope they kind of massively buff sniper rifles inside of PvE. I kind of miss using them because I haven't legitimately had a reason to. I think they need something like a 200% in base damage, something crazy like that, because they need to stand up against rocket launchers and fusion rifles. That's their competition. So, some potentially exciting things coming with the Sandbox update. Now, of course, there's the second tweet, which is the one that says that Mark Noseworthy and I will be answering some of the questions and addressing community feedback that we've been hearing since launch. Now, that could be addressing a lot of different issues. I think it's mostly going to be talking about their vision for Destiny 2 in the long term. We already know a lot about the raid structure, so they might point that out again. Luke Smith has previously mentioned Destiny 2 moving towards becoming a collection game, so maybe they'll be clarifying that. But at the very least, I hope we get some very much needed clarification about what their vision for the new endgame is going to be. Luke Smith is known to speak his mind, so I'm really hoping for a lot of candor here, and I hope it's not just something that they're going to be tacking on at the end of the weekly update. I really hope it's part of the live stream, but we'll just have to wait and see. No official confirmations yet. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this spiel right now. Of course, we have the stream on Wednesday, so that's going to be the next time we'll be talking about this again. Unfortunately, Wednesday is a pretty critical day for Bungie for them to start giving us some answers and telling us what the community wants to hear. Anyways, what are your thoughts on Luke Smith's tweet? Do you think they can save it in time to make this game popular through the holidays? Let's discuss. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more Destiny content. And I will see you all next time.